One of the toughest things for me to do is to start this podcast. So let me create some disclaimers before we even get started, because I know it's going to be a rough ride.
Turning negatives to positives, just like from the darkness we rise up, never look back, shattering barriers, breaking through every wall. No more doubts, we stand tall and proudly call the strength within us.
It's been a long time coming. I've watched, I've incubated, I've given you little teasers. I've been trying to get my stuff together because I'm only human, and I'm at that point in my life where there's some things that it's my assignment to do. So in my assignment, I'm going to tell the who, the what, the when, and the why. So let's go with who first. Let's talk about how I got here. We would like to talk about our history to the point where it's just like we're arguing about things we can't change. So who? Who made me? It comes down to my mother and my father. So when you in the comments talking about why do I speak the way I speak, is because your question is going to be who hurt me. Well, it was my mother. It was her neglect of loving me and giving me the nurturing that I needed. My father, who was absent, who didn't give me the discipline and the forging of who I could be as a man. What it looks like to be a man, what it looks like to be a father. So it's those two things right there. And I can say that in the short right now because I know I've been watching this internet for like the last 7 years, and I noticed that when someone tells a truth, you question it. So I'm telling you up front, and this disclaimer, it's my mother and my dad. Who am I? I'm a dad. I'm a boy, really, that didn't get what he needed to be the best man he could be for his children. See, that's how it is handed down. Your parents make you, and then you make kids, and then they make kids, and that's called a family, and that's a part of your legacy. I always say this about people. Understand who made them, what did they do to them, what did they do about what they did to them, who did they become because of them, and the last part is who you want to be. I'm at the who you want to be part. I'm a dad of 7. I got 5 mothers, baby mothers. 1.5 of them I talk to. The other ones, we can't have relationships. It's not because I did something diabolical or devious. It's because we're not compatible as people. A lot of you are having relationships, a lot of you creating families, you're not compatible with the person you're with, and that's why your children suffer. From absent parents, to neglectful parents, to angry parents. We all know the whole gambit. The what? The what is right now is that dads have been missing from families for over 4 decades. Their roles have been diminished. We have been divided. Not only are we being crushed by the opposition of life here in the United States as a culture, we're being crushed by those who were supposed to love us and nurture us and raise us. And in turn, we look like villains. We look like we don't care. We look like we're statues without feelings. That's what we look like to most people. So people don't understand us. They still neglect our position. And they think this word they like to use, broken. Men aren't broken. Men are underdeveloped. We are the solution. We need to develop who we need to be for our families. That person you used to daydream, you would daydream and hope they showed up at your school, that's who you need to be. To your football games, to your basketball games, to your baseball games. That's who we need to be. Making those tough decisions to keep everything moving forward for the family. That's who we need to be. The primary instructor for our children. That's who you need to be. Model for the neighbor's kids, for the village. That's who you need to be. We just have not put forth the effort to make that happen. We've been fooling around for the last 40 years, arguing about religion, arguing about politics, arguing about who did what to who. We're about at the end of the rainbow on all that. We need to be the leaders, the loving fathers and the grandfathers and the elders now. Because our solution is at the what? We are the solution. It's going to really hit us hard if we don't do our job in the next 2 generations. This ain't a game. This ain't about likes. This ain't about cheers on the internet. This is about your tomorrow. Now we're at the win part. Win. It's right now. You see it. We've run out of things to argue about. We've run out of people to hate. We're imploding. It's our jobs. It's our jobs to create the tomorrow. We are tomorrow's history. When my mother passed away, my daughters asked me, "What do you want to put on her cake?" And I kindly said to the woman who said she never loved me and she wasn't going to love me, live how you want to be remembered. Live how you want to be remembered. When your kids and your grandkids sit around and have conversations about you, live the stories you want them to tell. I want my kids to know that I fell down. I want my kids to know that I failed them. I'm not talking about how my parents failed me. It's talking about I failed to understand that it was my job to create a better dad, a better man, and a super grandfather. I didn't know, but I know now. And I'm not arguing about it. I want my kids to know that I fell down and I got up. Regardless of all the fancy parents out there who all have the fancy stuff, all the money you could spend, you still have to be that person that modifies, not modifies, that models for what you want them to do in life. They see you. Why? I have 8.5 grandsons. The half is we got one on the way. I want them to live a greater life than myself. I want them to evolve beyond Pawpaw. I want them to be the greatest things that could possibly be. And they can't do it if I don't do it. And then my kids don't do it. Then it'll be their turn to figure it out, to make up their mind and say, hey, I need to do this because no one else in my family did it. No one else had the balls to grow, to move beyond the pain. So this is why I created this. You name it, I made the mistake. The pain you'll never understand because you're so lost in your own pain or a different kind of pain, or you don't believe that could have been that bad or that could have really happened. It happened, and there's nothing we can do about yesterday. But just remember, it's all about tomorrow. So this is my opening video so I can have conversations about what we're supposed to be doing for tomorrow. So if you come in my comment box and you ask me who hurt me, I'm going to block you because obviously you didn't watch this video. But 2, You don't understand. You can't keep telling us that we have to go through trial and error to grow. I've gone through the trial and error and I'm growing. I am. I've gone through the trial and error so my kids can just go through half of what I've gone through. Half. Because it's all been paid for by now. And stop thinking that it's different. If you go through the internet, you'll actually see we are all going through the same things, thinking it's unique, but only thing unique is you. The same problems we have are repetitive in almost every family, depending on the culture or the country you live in. They've got their problems, we've got our problems. We've had our problems for so long, we should have solutions. And if you don't have any solutions for the problems we have in our families today, then you're probably the problem. So let's get ready to go on this journey, the Negative to Positive show. It took me a lot to do this. It really did. It eats me every day. Every day I think about how can I make this better. So let's get ready to go. Peace. Have a powerful day.